Okay, let's take a look. Alright, it's pretty good. Some of these poses, like that one, I think you might have had an easier time with an FK. I feel like maybe the camera jumps around a little bit more than it needs to. We can take a look at that in the My file. Yeah, it's just really, it's a bit jumping around a bit much. So let's look at the camera first. I like having an establishing shot. I think that's good. It's always good to cut on the action, so like in the middle of a movement. So like a little earlier, you know, like while the leg's going up still, like here maybe. That's pretty fast though, because we're really just 1 second in this shot. Maybe instead cut. And I'm not really sure. Like this cut, I don't think makes sense. It's not a big enough change. From here to here. So I would just get rid of that altogether. And so maybe what you could do instead is just have this one later and get rid of it. So let's get rid of this one first of all. And let's take this one, and maybe as she's doing this, okay, maybe a bit earlier, because you just want it right in the middle of that movement, because your eye or your mind sort of follows the movement rather than paying attention to the camera cut. Okay. That looks kind of weird. I guess you're scaling those for a breath or something. Is that what's happening? Yeah. Because rather than breathing, it looks like her breaths just sort of grow for a second, which looks kind of odd. Maybe more like do something like... Anyways, let's focus on the camera first before I get distracted with all this stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why you cut again to the wide shot, because at this point, you know, we established a scene. We should just be focusing on the character, I think. I mean, I get that that's like an interesting shot, but I don't know. If I was going to do something like that, maybe do it at the beginning. I mean, if anything, I would just go tighter on her, and then that would be it. Like, you know, like here, maybe go something like that. Change that. Well, might be a little bit too tight, but maybe get her on like a third. You know, change this to stepped, and then just get rid of the rest. Because there's not, you know, you don't just cut the camera because the shot looks cool. Even if it does look cool, you do it to help kind of tell the story and explain the action. Yeah, so I might lose that scaling of the chest thing because it's looking a little weird, and you know, you can probably, you know, do stuff like shrug the shoulders. Oh, that's not real friendly with our rig, huh? Oh, that's not looking great. I wonder why it's still showing up like that. It's just maybe too close to her skin. Hopefully it won't render like that. I don't know. It feels like it. Anyway, but, you know, and you can kind of, you know, you can kind of rotate, you know, like that looks like breathing too, just rotating the spine, maybe just, maybe move these just a touch, just a tiny little, just a little bit, like rotate, arch the back a little bit more, move those up a little bit more, a little tilt on the head and move it back, rather than just scaling that, which looked kind of weird. And then I thought that it looked a little weird the way she raised her arms here. It felt a little unnatural. So maybe you'll want to put like a little in between here where you would have an easier time with this pose if she was an FK for this period of time, but if I can understand not wanting to switch back and forth. But anyway. Okay. That's not a great one anyways, because the arms are a little bit overextended. So and same here, they're a little overextended. You should always have at least a tiny little bend in the elbow. So maybe more like that. One thing you might see, she might perform faster if you hide that, because the wrap, it's much quicker interaction, because the wrap sort of slows things down, the wrap deformer. And I just wanted to check this. Yeah, I would say that doesn't look balanced. I feel like she would fall back here. Just wanted to find the keyframe. So I would say either she moves a foot back to balance herself out, or her center of gravity is a little bit more over her feet. For that one. And and make sure the hands aren't kind of sticking like that. I mean, if they're IK, they naturally will. So you can animate them to go back and forth between FK. I guess I'll show that real quick. So I might delete any keyframes off of this, because I'm sure they're all the same at the moment. And now what you can do is, maybe she's going to go from FK here to, let's say, IK there to, maybe by the time we get to this frame they're FK. So we put this to 0. Alright, and then put the arms in the appropriate position that you want. And you'll see the advantage in a second. Whatever, something like that. We don't need these probably, because you probably haven't keyframed those, or really any of those. Okay, so you can see it's IK, it's transitioning to FK, and so now it's FK, and the advantage, and it's these little blue pluses that control that decide whether it's IK or FK, and so from here to here we transition from IK to FK, and the advantage now is that, I must have left the keyframe on this guy. Oh, I didn't delete the keyframes off that one. Let's get rid of these, and those, same as I did for the other one, because those are just nothing, because you've been in FK mode the whole time. So see how the arms are kind of naturally moving with the body. Now you still might want to get a little more variation so the arms don't move so rigidly with the body, but what you don't want is where they were stuck with the IK thing. So like if she's supposed to have her arms in front of them, it's going to be a lot easier, and you can just do little kind of subtle keyframe variations on the shoulders. And so now, I don't know why that's... Why is that changed? There must be some other keyframe outside this range. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me make sure both these are selected. Anyway, I don't know where you had the arms doing stuff again, but wait. Sure looks like these are animated, but I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, you know, let's say you want the IK to start taking over again, you know, like around here or something. So then I would take this, keyframe that again, and then over a few frames. What was it? I can't remember how long this was. You know, over probably just, yeah, a few frames. Put it back to 10. And now from that point forward. So it's IK, it's transitioning, it's FK, it's transitioning, it's IK, and then the rest will be IK. Or maybe you would find that easier to do an FK and just leave it an FK for the rest, but you'd have to just re-keyframe the arm positions. Yeah, because that was sort of catching my eye a little bit, the way the arms were kind of sticking in space, which is what IK arms are good for, but it's not good when you don't want them to stick. So you can switch them back and